But
Yeah, we figured it out.
we did. It took a minute. And I'm always busy doing like a million things at one time. Like I just got through coaching barbell club, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ.
Butcher and Barbell Club, what's that?
Yeah, so Olympic weightlifting and powerlifting. So my gym and CrossFit Decimate, we have this barbell club thing that I started, and it's pretty awesome because I get to program everything. Um, I get to kind of see people from where they started out to where they end up, and that's always like the freaking beautiful part. You There was a lady that came in. She had been doing CrossFit for like 2 years, and she couldn't squat down all the way. And through like a couple of days of walking her through how to squat and how to like do things, she ended up SOTS pressing. It's kind of like you get down in your squat position, you're kind of overhead pressing from the bottom. She was able to do 75 pounds. She was like, I've never ever been able to do that in my life. And I was like, oh, something I'm doing must be working. I don't know.
All about that compound lifting I've been hearing. It's compound lifting, compound lifting.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
important.
repetition over and over again. And it's kind of, I had my gym owner told me something a long time ago. He was like, yeah, overhead squat's a true expression of athletic ability. And I was like, when he first said it, I was like, no, that's bullshit.
Mm,
And now I'm like, oh, no, it's not. It makes sense now because you
yeah.
got to be mobile. You got to have power, stability, balance, coordination, all of that stuff packed into one. Whereas shooting a basketball is pretty fucking easy once you figure out how to do it once.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But no, again, welcome. This is Victor. You're co-owner of Organic Grit, right?
Yeah, yeah. Co-owner of Organic Grit. To give a little background on it, it's a CBD company, a veteran-founded CBD company by my twin brother. I am primarily running it right now, given his active duty status. But when he did found the company in between his tour of Afghanistan and Somalia, when he came back from Afghanistan, long story short, he was toying with a variety of different solutions, natural solutions, trying to calm down the anxieties and stressors he was feeling. And he stumbled upon CBD, and we'll go over that later throughout the show. But yeah, long story short, current owner and operator of it, but we have a bigger team that works on a variety of different points. But yeah.
So what goes into like running a business? I mean, I kind of have a couple of business ventures I go into, quite often, and that's why I'm quote unquote always busy. But I'm pretty sure there's a more efficient way to run it. So how do you guys remain successful? Like, how do you do that?
With my team specifically, when I work with the people in marketing and we work with people that we would, to deal with some of our non-for-profit outreach, the biggest thing is communication. So one of the biggest things. Now you can over communicate. You can have a lot of meetings in the middle of a week. You can have multiple meetings. Like you can have as much as you want. But what will happen is that you'll bog everyone down and you'll suck a lot of time out, and then you'll find out a lot of your meetings turn into working meetings. But I think it's important, and we do it on a weekly basis for a couple of hours. Just settle down, look over the list of goals, look over the list of to-dos, the short-term, medium-term, long-term goals, and how are we measuring up to it every week, and how we're going about it. So it takes some time and dedication to stay on that schedule, but you're really talking about one day for a couple of hours a week. You're good, and then the rest of the hours and the rest of the days during the week, you do what you got to do. So when you show up to the next meeting, we're going over the list and your name's by something or you have something. All right, so where are we at this? And so there's a point of personal accountability that goes a long way, right? Because you want to make sure some stuff are going. And you know what? If some stuff are not moving anywhere, maybe you need some extra help. You don't have that much capacity. And you really got to evaluate what's really important and what isn't. So, but the only way you do that is by continuous repetition of going out to that garden, weeding and then taking all those weeds out of the garden and just keep going at it. And those meetings help. Those meetings help everyone remain accountable and honest with themselves.
That's fair. I have a cup that I always take to meetings at my job. I work virtually or remotely, and then 2 days a week I go in like every other week, and it says I've survived another meeting that should have been a fucking email. I think as far as like companies run, you over meeting it. If a CrossFit gym that I go to, we have a meeting every last Sunday of the month, and that's all we need. We have a group
Yeah.
chat. We kind of like a Slack, and we kind of go, hey, this wasn't done in this standard. We need to do this, or somebody can't be here this day, and we're thinking about doing this. How's the program looking? How's the population kind of feeling about everything? And it solves 99% of our problems.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because my job that I sit in all these meetings on, some of them aren't even necessary. I'm a project manager and it's still very, very unnecessary. So what you're telling me is that my job is doing it wrong. The government's doing it wrong.
It's look, when you look at your Outlook calendar and it's filled to back meetings, like
Mhm.
that is some days I have that for my other ventures and other stuff I do, and it's a time suck. But you have to make sure that that's not every day at least. If you find yourself every day doing that on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're getting absolutely nothing done.
Yeah, yeah,
Talking
I
to
feel
people
that.
and repeating. So where is this? Well, I told you last week. Then it's snap. It's like the worst is when you have to update people on an update. You know, to update them on the update. Like
A
I do.
change to the change.
Yeah, change to the change. You have an update on this? Yeah, the update's the update. And it's just it's crazy. People chase you for an update on the update, and that's when you know it's ridiculous. And then you see like, what's your purpose? What's your job? To chase people all day on this stuff? But that's a lot of people's job. It's just to chase. So, but thankfully with Organic Grit, um we don't have that type of bureaucracy, because that's just not going to get stuff done. Having that type of flat point when you talk about marketing, when you talk about non-for-profits, when you talk about working with our farmers and distribution, you really just have to cut through all the BS and just get right to it, like right off the bat.
Do
And
you think
that's how some of the ideas and stuff we come up with is through that cutting away. Let's just think out loud. What works? What doesn't work? Like for instance, like the packages that we sent you, we can talk about that. But the sample SAF program and the sample oil program, that's something that's not in the industry,
yeah,
and it took us some time to develop it to make sure it's right because we wanted to give people access to the product itself. Maybe you're thinking about, okay, I've never tried the CBD before. I've never tried CBD, period. But then you're looking online and you're like, okay, that's $70. This is $80. That's $100. This is, it's a lot of commitment, right? So, you got to make sure that's right. So what we decided to develop is like, okay, can we make a very easy to ship, easy to order, potent sample to people free of charge? Can we do that? We look at it, we look at everything. All right, it's more than possible. We can do it. And if you go on our website and you order a sample, you're not going to be asked, hey, give me your first, last name, your credit card information, your date of birth. Like, no, we don't ask for your credit card information for samples. We do not. All we ask for is your address. That's all we do. Because some people, and I've seen it, you order a sample, you put your credit card information in, and 3 weeks from there, you get charged a full order, and it's on a reoccurring bill, and you can't get out of it at all, and you're stuck. But with our sample program, you just order it and it shows up to your door. That's it. A couple of days if you're in the United States, and so it
that
should.
right there, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can go in and get one of those samples. He sent me one, and I think I took it. Yeah, I've been taking it for about 5 days now, and I take quite a bit of CBD. I've had different ones from different brands. I've had the shitty gas station CBD before. I'm like,
Oh,
dude, I had a headache when I woke up. I think I told you on our first phone calls, like, dude, that was horrible. It was a mistake.
no, you don't want that. You don't want that.
And with
If you go right here, if you're sharing the screen, if you go to shop right there, right on the left,
mhm.
and you go to OG oil, or the CBD oil right there, yep, and you click that, boom, and it'll tell you how the whole thing works. The whole design of it was real nice. Everything that we've like done on the website, it's just really easy and smooth. We took a lot of time with it. We're trying to not overwhelm people. When you go to our shop, there's a select group of products. There's only going to be like CBD oil, salve, and that's it. You got full spectrum and broad spectrum, and you got just the salve. It's very, very simple stuff. You're not talking about 30 different SKUs, and no, very simple and to the point.
That's pretty, and then it's got like a price realm for you to do too, like a sliding scale. Like I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
do from $0 to $0, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna get a sample, right? A
yeah.
sample
Probably
notification.
they'll probably get a sample of that. And we have a subscribe and save program as well, and the rest of it, and just showing how to use the product and the rest of it. So
That's
we have
pretty
a pretty good tech team that does a really good job and makes it as seamless as possible. and we really like to just tell that story. And I mean, at the end of the day, and like it says there on the website, we're really stuck there on three pillars, community, quality, and transparency right there. So, taking it one by one, communities, 20% of our proceeds get donated to 501(c)s. So we're founded around community 110%.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, in 2021, we did a large impact. In 2022, so what this page is focused on, we partnered up with One More Wave, a foundation out there in California that actually puts veterans on boards, and it's almost like very, very therapeutic for them. I went out there, I was surfing with Mike Spivey, one of our ambassadors, and he actually works with One More Wave as well. And we just loved what they did, and we were talking to them, and you know what, we met them, and we were seeing like how the actual impact is on veterans and other individuals, and how the ocean is very, very therapeutic. And so they said, you know what, a percentage of our sales are going to go help them out. And speaking to Rob Gurnett there, a wonderful individual, really kind.
Who kind of spearheaded that idea? Who was the brainchild behind that one? Was it you and your brother, or just
So
your
when
brother randomly?
when I went out to California last summer, we were just linking up with Mike. Like I said, Mike's one of our ambassadors there. He's a Paralympian, two-time Paralympian, U.S. Marine combat veteran, and Organic Grit ambassador. And so we were visiting, we were catching up. I've never surfed before. I told him, I said, hey, Mike, this not, let's meet up. And he's like, okay, when you're coming out here to San Diego, we got to surf. I was like, dude, I can't surf. I don't know how to surf. Like I told you, Mike is a U.S. A Marine veteran, and he's wounded. He lost one of his arms from an IED. And Mike has a very interesting sense of humor. And then when I told him, I said, Mike, I can't surf. I don't want, I can't. And he said, Vic, and excuse my language, he's like, I have one fucking arm. If I can surf, you can surf. And, it was really reassuring. And then I went out there and went to San Diego, and I went to La Jolla with him. And I grew up I didn't grow up in La Jolla, but when I was really small, I went to La Jolla a couple of times, and I remember it. And so it was cool revisiting it with not my immediate family, but the OG family there with him, and going out and going riding some waves, and learning how to surf, and banging up my knees in the bottom of the sand there in the beach. But it was fun. So after doing it so many times, because I went out a couple more times after that, he's had a couple of competitions. I was just hooked on it. So this is great. And so he mentioned this name multiple times, and I saw them at a couple of events. And I said, you know what? I got to reach out to them. We got to see what we can do. And so they're very hospitable, and we reached out. We sent a couple of messages. They linked us up, and then we had conversations, Zoom meetings, and the rest of it. And so we're working together as much as we can. And so hopefully, we have other couple of ideas planned out for 2023. See what else we can do. And but it's that kind of grassroots involvement that I really much enjoy. My brother enjoys. The rest of the team likes as well. So trying to go out there and see where the impact is happening, and see what we can do to help it, and to expand it, and to assist in delivering their mission there. So that's One More Wave. That's just one of them. And then the rest of them, Patrol Base Sabate and Veterans Adventure Group. So that's a big, big, big part of Organic Grit. And it all stems from, again, Alex's veteran career, and I mean his military career, and as a veteran of Afghanistan war, and then going out to Somalia as well. He really wants to give back to the community, but he also wants to give people the tools, one of them being CBD, to manage stress and to manage anxiety, and to just really maintain that grit. Hence one of our names, right? Organic Grit, keeping that natural grit involved. So that all revolves and is surrounded by community.
Dude, that's pretty awesome. I say that, like, we in the Army, when I was in the Army, we had like the Army values, like leadership, loyalty, duty, what leader, was it?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's been a while. Is that loyalty, duty, respect, respect, I think.
Probably respect. Yeah.
Yeah. Honor, integrity, and personal courage. There we go. I got them all out. Don't be mad at me, people that are in the army. It's been a minute. I'm kind of getting lazy and fat now. But yeah, like when you have something like that, you can kind of evaluate something against, even if it's just an idea like you guys got, you got community, quality, and transparency. That means a lot to people. They kind of go, oh, okay. What's the transparency aspect? You can probably scan the QR code in the back of that bottle and see how much THC is in it. More than
It's,
likely, it's zero.
yeah, exactly.
That was a big thing for me, and as a frequent CBD user, it's pretty amazing what it does. That, and it's just a sleep. So I'll take it about 8:30 at night, 9:30, right about 30 minutes before I go to bed. And yes, right. I'm like, it's time to go to sleep. I'll lay down and then lights out. I wake up, 6 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I gotta pee. And I go and I pee. And I'm like, man, that was some good sleep. As a matter of fact, last night I took some and I think I only slept for like 8 hours, some change. And my Garmin and my 8 sleep matches were like, oh my gosh, your recovery was amazing.
Yeah.
And I got up for work this morning and I think I was the most productive I was today. It took about 5 days for me to get a good cycle going in. But dude, that shit's amazing.
Yeah, it's smooth. I have the full spectrum here and the natural one. My fan favorite again is the blue raspberry. That's the one I think I sent you out there, and
Yeah.
it's real smooth. I mean, the natural flavor is great, but the blue raspberry, everyone really much enjoys. Some people are down to natural flavor. That's all good too. We like to give that simple option, but man, when I'm working on my other job and I work at a bank, um, corporate world as well, and sometimes the stuff just really hits the wall,
Yeah.
and I sit there and I look at it, and my brother tells me, he's like, "Vic, you run a CBD company. You're finding a little spark of anxiety, and you're wondering what can make my day better, right?"
Take
So
some
yeah.
CBD.
Oh man, I take some CBD I have on my desk, and then I'm just like, wow, got this done, got that done, got this. And so like ours is not an indica strain, right? It's a sativa strain, so there's going to be some positive energy promoting effects of it. So like the way I like to think about it, so when I explain to my clients,
What'd you say? In the couch?
yeah, in the couch, we're in the couch. So yeah, sativa's this, in the couch is indica, right? So our one's just one strain. It's the Hawaiian haze strain, and that's all it is. One farm, one strain. It's not mixed with like 11 different other strains on a plot of land out in Wisconsin that's used by 7 different other things. No, one strain, one farm, year after year, it's the same thing. So that's how we make sure our product's very consistent in its taste, and its color, its composition, everything. And we made sure of that when we talked to our farmers. We wanted to know exactly what the parameters were and what they were doing, because the other ones that we were working with or we were hearing about, it's just all right, multiple different strains going on, which is fine, but we just don't want to run that risk of, okay, the thing is not going to taste as consistent. Like you bought a product, let's say in March, and then you buy another one in June, taste 2 different ones.
Yeah.
We don't want that from a different harvest or whatever. And that's because there was another type of strain going on over there. But yeah, the sativa strain, they take in the middle of the day, boom, the hours just fly by. I got a whole bunch of stuff done. And it doesn't leave me some sort of drowsiness or some sort of fatigue or nothing like that. So it's good. And I don't need that much. My mass, like I weigh like 155, 156.
Lucky.
Yeah. And I think like my fancy little scale says, oh, I'm like 14 or 15% body fat. So there's not that much that I need. I think I do maybe 25 milligrams. I don't do the full 50. Like the vials I gave you, that's a full 50. So I would just probably take half that and I'm okay.
Yeah.
There's no need to take 50 milligrams for me.
I've only been taking 10. So I was like, I'm going to start with 10. And it took a while to build up, but like 10 was, I'm 240 pounds. That was pretty good.
Yeah. You don't have to just guzzle the whole thing. It's not needed. But yeah, so that was the big thing. And we came out with our new like type products and boxes there, like boom. We got the whole thing, the pillars listed out there now. So it's going to be neat. So some of our new design that was coming out, we just try to keep it very simple and to the point. We don't want anything crazy. I've gotten packages in the past. I've gotten product in the past from not even just CBD companies, but just in general. And as a consumer, as a client, as everyone else is, right? you know what works when you get it, and you know what doesn't work when you get certain things.
Yeah.
And so as a company, we try to identify, all right, this is too much, this is too confusing, this is not very consistent. Just cut that all out. This is my baby, this is my business. I'm going to make sure it's very clear cut and to the point.
So do you think Organic Grit is going backtracking a little bit, but do you think you're going to run into the problems of like multiple meetings and having to chase, cats when you guys get bigger?
I can imagine that's going to happen. Hopefully, if my skills in corporate America is going to help me manage that. See, like that's the thing. It's like Alex brings, obviously a lot of his military background, his non-for-profit works he's done for years. When he was out in Somalia, he did a lot of non-for-profit work with I think if I remember right, a couple of children's hospitals and actual schools out there. So that's where his real passion lies, and the rest of it. The quality of it. But I just come in and say, hey, look, I've worked at this, worked at a big, huge bank, Fortune, 50 or 100 company, right? And just working through it, I know how to manage projects from end to end and to get it done, as painful as it is. As you're right, as it hopefully gets bigger and more involved, yeah, you're gonna have to push down that bureaucracy. You got to cut down the BS. You got to really shave down all that stuff as much as you can, because then you're just going to become the very same thing you wanted to destroy or get rid of or whatever. You'll just forget about it. There's been meetings I've been a part of that I've seen. It's like, this is just way too long. This is just way too much. Like, I'm like, just all of this, delete it and just move it away. Like, that's it. It's distracting, So you just have to have that ability to just. One of my bosses, when I used to work for him, he said destroy things, and I was like, that seems kind of very intense. He's like, no, just destroy it and start over. And that type of chaotic creativity, if that's even a phrase, but that
chaotic creativity, yeah, that's kind of the opposite of a lean thought process. You guys are kind of running on.
You just run a combustion, like, so you need some that creative combustion, the creative combustion to occur, but in that closed, nice, controlled space, because that's how ideas happen. This is how that sample program was formed. This is how this different development of marketing was created, and different parts of our 3 pillars are done. It's a lot of darts on the board, a lot of trying. Okay, this works, that doesn't work. This works, that doesn't work.
And how much red tape did you guys have to go through to even start this business?
What was that?
What kind of red tape did you guys have to cross, or hurdles you had to jump over?
I mean, there's still a whole bunch, right? So if you think about from the banking industry itself, there's a lot of regulatory stuff that you have to go around. You have to make sure you work with the right processors. You got to make sure you work with the right bank to deposit transactions, and the rest of it. You got to work with a proper credit card processor as well. There's like 3, 4, 5 different parties that you need to create and work with as a CBD company to make things actually work. I can't just call up Visa and say, hey, can we just connect everything? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's weird, because that used to be like, you could go to a dispensary here. I think it was like last year. You go to a dispensary here and you would have to go to the ATM, take your money out, pay for whatever you were going to get. But that was, THC related. But now it's gotten a little easier for CBD because you usually no THC in it. Yeah. And, now it's like, okay, you can use your bank card now. It's like, what changed? And they're like, well, you want the long version of it? And I was like, nope. They were like, well, some rules changed. I was like, that's fair. Yeah. That's wild. That's crazy. Like, what?
You're still working with like 4 or 5 different parties, just on the pipes of it, and that's the biggest thing. Now, when you talk about current regulations about CBD, there is and there isn't enough. Okay. And so I know I'm gonna probably sound crazy and all this. I don't think there's enough regulations for trying to govern the quality, the consistency, the production of CBD oil and salve in the United States. We just made it more or less legal in 2018 with the Farm Bill. But after that, they left it to the FDA. They said, you guys got to figure it out.
And you have to do the analysis on the CBD every time you manufacture it, right?
Yeah, they said, the FDA's got to figure out and put the regulations and rules to it. Fast forward to like a couple of months ago, I think the FDA just put their hands up and said, this is too complicated. We don't want to do anything to do with this stuff. Congress has to regulate it.
That's fucked up because you get a pharmaceutical drug, it goes through like whatever, so many 10 years, like not even 10 years. Let's go with the COVID shot.
Hmm?
What was that, a year? And they were like,
Yeah,
"Yep, you can take it, like emergency authorization use," and it didn't work. Like it still doesn't work. It's still
yeah.
you still can transmit from it, but some natural plant, you're like, "Hey, this
No,
has XYZ benefits." Like, what do it's kind
yeah.
of dumb.
They're dragging their feet on it. They don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And so they said, Congress, you got to deal with it. And not to get all political and everything, but Congress is a mess, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, dude.
they don't even know what's going on. It's very gridlocked. This is the last thing that's on their list. So they put their hands up. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, what I advocate for and our company advocates for as well is actual clear and strong regulation from the federal government side on how CBD is actually produced and manufactured.
Hmm.
We make sure that our farmers use, investment grade, food grade type
Hmm.
equipment that is top of the line that they use for other industries that are regulated to that extent. So we want to make sure that we work with farmers that are already top notch. So when regulations do come through, we're good. Everything is disclosed on our labels properly as they should be, and as they would be if they were regulated. In terms of dosage, in terms of THC content, the QR code that's scanned instantly without any gimmicks. That's probably going to help on the regulatory side as well. So a variety of different disclosures we have on the website. So we are trying to future-proof this business and this company for what will eventually come down the line, what we'll hope. Because what you mentioned in the beginning of the show was like, okay, well, I got some CBD at a gas station. That should be gone. That should
Yeah.
be moved. That shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
The reason why that stuff exists is because there's not that much regulation around in the industry. So until there's better regulation from the FDA and the federal government on how to create, how to produce and distribute and sell CBD products in the United States, you're going to have these problems with other CBD companies that just come out of nowhere or whatever. So, but we're
So do you,
staying far away from that and self-imposing these high these high standards. As has
yeah, so you're doing going past the standard so that you make sure if the standard ever change, you're like, we're already if not in compliance with it, you're hella close. Like you're really fucking close.
we do it. At the end of the day, we do it for our clients so that they can sleep at night, they can enjoy the product. But as a business owner, because I know we talked about that before, I want to be able to put my head down in the pillow and wake up the next morning that if there is regulations going to be passed, that I'm good, and then the business is good as well. Well,
That's the hope.
I
That's
don't want to be
always the
running around last minute fire drill trying to figure out, oh man, I gotta work with a different type of farmer, this different type of strain, or a different type of distribution system, or a different type of bank because I was too lazy to do my due diligence.
yeah. I think that's what it all comes down to doing due diligence, and that's I don't know from a training aspect. That's kind of it. How do I formulate this? If you don't train your people well, then you have a shitty business. I don't know. I had a situation at work where somebody got fired, and I was like, dude, you. I had to talk to my supervisor. I'm like, hey, I don't think this person got trained well. I was like, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but
Yeah,
this individual doesn't seem like they were trained well enough. And hey, Steve, and he got fired, and he didn't even fight for himself. So how well or what is the standard that you guys train your employees for the low amount you do have?
yeah. I mean, you have to instill with people and try to connect with them to a point like, okay, how would you run your business? How would you run your baby? Like, how would you really have to make sure that you find patriots and people that wear the jersey of your company. It's very, very important for that because that's how you find that sort of that dedication and a type of stride for people to work hard, but also be passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that takes time. You can't just pick a name out of the hat. You can't just find some people or whatever. You really got to find some real passionate, driven people for your company. And if you don't find those people, certain characteristics in certain people, that's fine. It's time to move on and go somewhere else. You're just going to waste your time, or you're just going to waste their time.
That's fair. That is fair. So, like, when you did, how long did it take from like, oh, I have this idea for a CBD company to actually make the CBD? I guess to like get a farmer to grow it and make it.
Yeah, thinking back to it when my brother first started, like I said, when Alex came back from Afghanistan, he was there for just about, I think, just over a year, so a little longer than most. He's out there flying from South and North Afghanistan a couple of times. His MOS, I believe, had something to do with the supply logistics of it, but he had to make sure stuff was going from point A to point B. That means you had to end up in some really interesting spots in Afghanistan. So anyways, when he did come back, he had these ideas. And he said, look, I'm coping with stress. I'm coping with anxiety. I can't sleep at night very well, right? He's trying to figure out different outlets that he can really pour this type of energy into. So, I mean, he's a big gym rat, like most people in the Army, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was
that might not be the truest statement.
No,
well, some of them are really tubby. I mean, you got some fat ones.
Yeah.
That's probably about a 90% markup.
90%. There we go. So he did that, worked this, that, but he was trying to figure out some more, like a tool, like a tool type, a type of supplement, per se, to help with this. CBD kept on coming across. CBD kept coming across. And just like Ken, your experience, tried a couple of places, tried a couple of things, had a bad couple of trips. It wasn't the greatest. Was a little frustrated. But then he found some real good ones. Yeah. Ones that actually had, some sort of effect on him. But he wanted to use this type of, I guess, newfound, like, discovery, we'll call it, right? A discovery for it, to actually bring it out to us other friends who are in the veteran community. Maybe those who just left the service. Hey, this is working for me. Maybe it'll work for you. And then at that point, it's like, you know what? Why can't we just do something in himself of his own company that works with just creating some of the CBD, but one that actually has an impact on the community as well? Because that was the biggest thing. It's like, it's more than just a CBD company. It's one that has a direct impact to a community too.
Yeah, I rolled the dice a bunch of times. I was like, man, I want to sleep better. I don't want to take trazodone anymore. And I would go to like, in the Army, I would go to like Discovery CBD down the road. And I was like, hey, some CBD. They're like, you get a military discount? I'm like, wait, time out, pause. Does this have THC in it? They were like, no. I was like, if I take a piss test, will I pop hoppers? And they're like, no, scan the QR code. I scanned it. It was clean. And that was probably one of the best ones I ever took. And I peed in the cup a lot and it never showed up. And I was like, this is money. I'm gonna keep doing this. And now I can say it because I'm not in the Army anymore. But yeah, shit's amazing. It's
great. You should have said it while you were in.
I told a couple of people while I was in, I was like, hey,
yeah, just CBD. Not me.
Yeah, like, no, because you, Steve, you're like a rectangle. I won't call you a square. You're like within the bounds. I do a whole bunch of shady shit. I did a whole bunch of shady shit.
It's because I'm white, isn't it?
100%. That haircut does it every time. But yeah, Steve's here. He had his kid.
That T2 me thing in the back is not squared away.
Not squared. No, it's
everything behind you is all fucked up.
That's because my camera's crooked. And you know what I didn't want to do? I didn't want to fix my camera because sometimes I'm lazy and I rush in here. I was like, God dang it! Gotta let the dog out.
I might be late, but Victor, my picture behind me is perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, but
I can shit. So at least I'm well put together.
But I can see your second chin, Steve.
You know what? I don't have a beard anymore, man.
Yeah, why did he cut it, man? Why?
I was on paternity leave for 12 weeks, so
motherfucker,
I let that thing just fucking grow out, and it was so nice. And then I had to go back to work.
Can you give baby CBD?
I don't think you can. I don't think it's a good idea.
No,
give them Benadryl to make them feel like they're on CBD.
I mean, if we can give them Benadryl, which is basically an antihistamine. Victor, what do you think about CBD in babies?
No,
let's not get Victor's take, just in case it's a bad take.
No. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just gonna make another joke, but
crack another, man. Crack another.
Just making jokes about babies on drugs just probably isn't where my night needs to be at this point.
It's like crack babies. Oh my god.
Sometimes
I said babies on drugs, not babies on hardcore drugs. Jesus.
Oh, no.
This is
I
in
don't even,
1979 New York.
but I don't call CBD or even weed or even mushrooms. I don't call them drugs. I call them just
Not eat
plants.
mushrooms?
No, like I microdose mushrooms every day.
Oh wow.
Like I
Oh yeah,
microdose a gram every day.
he microdosed mushrooms with my wife
Dude,
and
no, I didn't microdose. We
my
took 10
friend's
grams a
wife.
piece. We took 10 grams a piece. Tell them what happened.
My wife was in the corner of his living room crying because me and my best friend got into an argument over the origins of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She cried. I was like, I
She
told her
told
before
me
you took them.
like her parents arguing.
But what did I say though? I said, hey, two things are gonna happen. Either you're gonna get super giggly and then you're gonna get sad, or you're gonna get sad and super giggly. And she was like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. I'm like,
They got
okay.
they got giggly and then they got super sad because they were both eating Dutch pretzels until the bag was gone. And then your wife was talking about she was doing the Japanese girl impression for my
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend. And then my wife got sad after we started talking about COVID.
Jesus Christ. That was fun. That
And this
was
is
really-
all from microdosing.
no.
It's only 3 of them. So me and my best friend are still in the military, so we couldn't.
So
His wife didn't want to. So it's him, my wife, and my best friend's wife, and they take mushrooms together. Now Ken, obviously, he takes mushrooms, and his shit is like, I'm gonna jot down notes. I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
be this enthusiastic smart person. Might as well just fucking rewrite algebraic code.
whenever I
And
like
the
smoke
other
weed
two
or
are
I
just
take
fucking like
mushrooms, I get
dummies.
like weirdly smart. It's really weird.
Well, then the other,
Other
my
level.
friend's wife is, she's a medical student
Mhm.
at, what is it, Michigan State University. She's going to be a doctor.
Mhm.
Already has her white coat and everything. She just fucking giggly as fucking in the corner talking about dogs and horses and gay people. And then Jess is sitting there pretty much just trying to understand everybody until me and Ken and my buddy Alex all getting on the topic of COVID and then government influence and fucking deep state shit.
Mhm. Oh my
Next thing you know, we're all raising our voices slightly higher and higher. My wife goes in the corner to cry because she feels like we're reimagining her parents arguing
Yeah.
from back in the day when she was a child.
She had an experience. I bet the next day she was so happy. She was like, oh, this is so
And
nice.
then your dog was comforting her in the corner.
Like, what's my dog India? She ran in here a minute ago, so I shut the door. I was like, I muted the microphone, shut the door because she's like squirrely, but like she's really a therapy dog. Like if she sees you're sad or something, she like nudge up against you. She's like, hey, you can pet me. I'll lick you in the face. It's okay. She's over there with Jess, and Jess is just, I mean, hardcore tripping balls. I mean,
That shit was so fucking funny.
this
Dude,
strain is called Yeti.
The ride home from your house, the entire time I'm getting backseat driven, like, hey, make sure you're stopping at that stop sign. It's 100 yards away, 50 yards away, 25 yards away. Stop. Just go through the stop sign, like a normal person. And then she'd look over at me and be like, are you buckled? I'm like, yeah, I'm buckled. She'd be like, did you stop at that stop sign back there? For like, I want to say somewhere around like 10 miles back to her parents' house.
Mhm.
Every stoplight, every stop sign, high as balls. The other ones in the backseat, like reciting medical code out of her fucking textbook.
Just having a smart moment. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Steve, I don't think your mic's plugged all the way in. It's scratching.
Oh, is it?
You got something you're touching is scratching. I think it's it was your cord dragging. That was about it, probably.
Well, it's
It's
sitting on
still
my
doing
couch.
it.
I'm sitting.
What did
I
you
started
do?
watching. I was watching Parks and Rec.
Oh my god.
I don't know what.
You never seen Parks and Rec, Victor?
No. I'm just trying to figure out what the scratching noise is.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. It's his mic. It's something like something's touching
Can you
something
still
else.
hear it?
Yeah, something's touching something else. I don't know what it is. Unplug it.
Unplug it, plug it back in. Yeah, we're
Plug
here.
it back in. Yeah, it was that. It's that. You got a shortage in your cord. You've been dangling your cord around, haven't you?
No, my cord had been sitting in a fucking drawer.
See, that's the problem. You haven't used it enough. It's kind of like a limp dick. Same concept.
I don't think that's how that works.
You're gonna lose it.
It's gonna, you don't use it, you lose it.
Just so listeners and Victor knows, Ken's the one that bought me this microphone, so he bought me a limp dick microphone.
It worked 3 months ago.
Leave it to the black dude. By the way, dude, a shitty microphone.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck it up on him.
We got roughly the same mic. It's the same brand.
Well,
Your one's
apparently you got the good one.
stuff. Your one's like it looks like a spaceship.
I know,
Exactly.
right?
Leave it to the black dude to get the good shit.
No, my God.
Fuck. I'm the minority here.
You know what? I don't want to hear that anymore because I'm pretty sure white people are quickly becoming a minority.
Jesus Christ. Unplug
We
your
may not be
headphones. Unplug your headphones.
The microphone now.
It's so bad. Unplug your headphones. It's your headphones. It's your headphones. It's your headphones. It's your headphones.
Oh, okay. Well, these headphones are fucking from 2010, so.
Now you got to mute your computer because it's double feedback.
I figured it out. Tech support over here.
Yeah.
You and it's so weird. You were just like, it's your headphones. Unplug the headphones. You're like, I found it. Just
everything.
Oh my God.
I'm an engineer, dude.
Boom.
Which
so
means
yeah,
nothing, but you think you know everything.
I really don't. If it doesn't involve, like, dude, math. Oh, I can do math forever. My son sits down. He's like, I need help with my math homework. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, cool. Sure.
Can I pay you to do my math class for me that has to be done in the fall?
I'm not gonna do your class, but I'll help you. I'll tutor you.
What class is it?
It's either you or Chat GPT.
What level math is it?
What level of math is it, man?
I believe it's 300 level.
No, what's the title?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Is it pre-algebra, algebra, pre-calc?
I'm slotted. I have to take a math class to finish my degree.
It's probably algebra or algebra 2.
Probably algebra 2 if I had to guess. But
it's one you never know.
Yeah.
I think you should go. I think you should bottom this out so you can prepare for it.
Yeah.
Probably just gonna pay Chat GPT to do my homework. So I'm not gonna lie. I care less. Central Michigan's not gonna watch my podcast.
What if they do?
Fuck them. Whatever.
They're gonna snip that and they're like, so Steve, so you said quote, fuck them?
And I quote, fuck them.
Do you want to hear a reenactment? So this one class I'm taking, Middle Eastern politics. It's a very interesting class, but there's a shit ton of reading.
I told you that.
Bro, it is like 90 pages per fucking chapter.
Dude, I sent you my thesis. It's like 22 pages long. Read it. You can just take stuff from there.
That's a thesis. This is not a fucking class that I have to write a thesis. But I have to write like a 13-page paper, whatever, on it. So the other day I started noticing like it takes me like upwards of 2 days to read all 160 pages of each chapter. So I don't want to blow my brains out. So I went on ChatGPT. And I just said, hey, summarize this book, 15th edition, chapter 6. I was like, oh, chapter 6 of this fucking blah, 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 blah. And it gives me like maybe a page and a half.
Like a Cliff Notes.
Basically Cliff Notes. And I understand the entire fucking chapter.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
I go over to the discussion post and I fucking write. And it's fucking glorious.
Or did you say, write me a paragraph for the discussion board?
Yeah. This motherfucker he's in the future.
Yeah, he's already
there.
Or I was waiting for you to say, write me 13 pages of this
So the way I really figured it out was I had heard about it as everybody did, but I was like, I don't want to fucking deal with all that. I don't know about it. So then I just like Googled it, clicked on it. I think you do a login thing, so it tracks your conversations with it, and you can always go back and see what it said. But the very first one I put in was like, write me a 15-page research paper in a non-plagiarism-based manner and I literally just copy and pasted what the teacher gave me as a topic, threw it in, and then hit a question mark and enter.
Did you say thank you, though?
No.
See, I've noticed that if you're nicer to it, it gets better response.
Well, maybe, but I asked it a question 2 days ago, and it told me it was an inappropriate question, but it wasn't inappropriate.
So it won't answer the question. It was asked inappropriate.
So the 15-page paper question, it wrote me 9 pages of good dialogue mixed with what does that say? Good podcast for CBD. What the fuck? Scroll up, dude. What the fuck did you ask this thing? Where's a good podcast for CBD? No, scroll up one more time. What
Oh,
did you?
I was asking where you lived.
Who is Steve Holt of San Antonio, Texas?
Look at that. It says, as a language model, I don't have access to personal information. Imagine one day it does. So it's just identity.
So
Dude, it is.
this is probably the base model, but see where it says upgrade to plus? You can get Chat GPT as it goes through its versions, and it becomes more. You're gonna pay fucking $20 for this for fucking 5 minutes?
Yeah, hold on.
Jesus Christ! It gets way more advanced in how it answers. So, like, if I really want to, I could pay the $20, ask it to write me the 15-page paper, and then the original one, I was like, hey, write it in a non-plagiarism based manner.
Yeah.
In text citations and references at the bottom. It didn't fully give me 15-page paper or anything like that, but it wrote me 9 pages worth of dialogue, information on the topic, references, and citations. And it was, I have it all saved on a Word doc.
I can tell you, man, if I don't know what limitations as ChatGPT is, but I can definitely see some very, very interesting applications from it. Like working at a, like I, run the business here. I've been working at it for a bit, but working at a bank, very big bank there, and trying to, you can probably use ChatGPT and say, hey, point out to me out of all of these credit agreements, out of all these legal docs, where we have the same term of X, Y, and Z. After
where you have exposure,
bring everything in. Yeah, exactly. What kind of exposure we have across this. So
Ken, before you put anything in here, so I have a neighbor who she does some like social media stuff for other people.
Yeah.
She went on the base ChatGPT and she had it write a program or like an algorithm for a program in Microsoft Excel that runs her entire business in the sense that it set up all of the tracking systems she needed.
What the
I
can't spell algorithm.
It fucking wrote the entire thing. So, but now, so what I understand is Microsoft is applying something like this to Microsoft Office.
Oh, they're doing their own like ChatGPT inside of. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they are inside of Teams. We're supposed to get the update
involved in it. So I don't know if it'll be like Siri or if it'll be more like this. I also heard that Twitter is going to get a ChatGPT style thing. Elon Musk wants to do that.
Well, that's fine, but Elon said the other day with his group of people that we should
be aware of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the scary things is like when I used this, I was like, am I just one of those dummy humans that's self-propelling AI because I don't want to do certain things? Mm-hmm. But then like how you said, like you could apply it to your business.
Yeah.
But at some point, that part of your business and you doing those tasks is what makes it an eligible, like necessary business. Don't ask it dumb questions like how do you pay? Oh, how do you pay less taxes?
Yeah,
I thought you said how do I pay taxes?
Maximize deductions and credits. Beware. Oh, deduction.
Okay.
You should ask it how to get rich quick.
How do I get rich quick?
How do I turn $20 into $2 million in a day? There's no fucking way. It'd be like, stop being a fucking idiot.
You know what ChatGPT just did right there? He just knocked out of a financial advisor of their job.
Yeah, just ruined their job. 529. Oh shit! Yeah. Oh damn. Health savings accounts. I didn't even.
It's still going, dude.
It's still going. Holy shit!
This thing is so cool.
I never heard about that one. Oh wow! By splitting allowed between family members. Oh, that's interesting.
And one of the things I did was the second class that I had, I just originally wanted to use this to gain references for the other essay I have to write. So I just put in like, hey, give me 5 first-hand references or first-hand sources on this topic. And just boom, 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 boom. There were studies, there was charts, there was data analysis from the EPA. And I was like, Okay, and then I just picked one of them, and I was like, okay, give me a summarized notes version of this. And then it gave me like 2 or 3 paragraphs of what the study did. And I was like, I could copy and paste this, but I'm not. I should probably do the minimal legwork here.
Yeah, this is cool. I'm just asking.
Wait, hang on, scroll back up, see what the fuck that said. Can we turn $20 into $1 million?
You can, but it's highly improbable, is what it said.
Highly improbable, large amounts of risk.
Fuck you, ChatGPT. You're supposed to be helping me here.
No. Take a kilo and no.
You take a kilo and you flip it to a brick. You compress that shit, put some baking soda in it. I'm not saying I know the process, but I kind of know the process.
You know, not, yeah. And then ChatGPT like, whoa, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Take that $20 and buy a Eastern European hooker, and then.
Oh my god.
Oh, I haven't. Okay.
Yeah, this thing get pretty wild. This thing can get pretty wild. Well,
I was gonna say, ask it what the reviews of Organic Grit company are.
Do it.
God. Oh, ask it. Okay.
If it even brings it up, it's like
say that again. Say that again.
What are the reviews of Organic Grit?
Relevant to your content. See, but now like that answer it just gave you is part of the reason why people need to buy the plus, so that it tries to get better answers. But some of them are just like that.
It's still thinking. It's still thinking. It's thinking.
It's searching.
So it's going to be searching like maybe the Google reviews? Maybe.
Probably. Let's see if it pulls it up.
The entire fucking internet, from what I understand.
Dude, this is okay.
Yeah, model. I cannot provide real-time updated information.
Oh, you weren't accompanied. That's fucking.
Bro, look at what it's finding. Like that's inside 2 minutes.
2 minutes, and it's like doing my work for me.
Interesting.
It's just going through. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god. I gotta think of questions to ask it. I gotta think of like good questions to ask it. That's pretty.
Here, I'll come up with one.
That's pretty good. It's Vic's turn.
Yeah, Vic can come up with one. I'll come
up with a question.
Man, the biggest thing for me, I mean, just we talked about investing before, and I love my CBD company, but the biggest point is that you talk about value investing is a big thing, big thing for myself. So if you just say like, what is value investing? See if it gives you a nice response. Should probably bring up like Warren Buffett. It should bring up.
He is a scumbag.
God damn.
Or Biden is still alive.
Benjamin, yeah.
Oh shit, she's right. Yeah, holy crap. Oh shit.
Dude, Victor was on one.
You got intrinsic value. Oh okay.
Yeah, so this is what I also do on the side.
So you're like a fund manager-ish type of thing?
Well, more or less, like I manage my own like investments, right? My own retirement stuff.
Safety.
Like this whole point's very, very important. Have a long-term horizon, have the margin of safety, make sure the intrinsic value is undervalued currently at this point. Contrarian mindset, yeah.
Do you guys notice something about the way it's writing?
How?
The style that it writes in.
What's the style?
If I gave this to a high schooler, they would understand exactly what this is.
Yeah, like I can read through the bullshit now. Like this is like bullshit free.
After reading it, they would not be confused by the language. They would have a very especially when it's summarized, my 90 pages worth of reading I should have done into roughly 3 or 4 paragraphs like this length, right? Mm-hmm. I understood the entirety of the whole fucking chapter. And it was in less than 3 or 4 paragraphs. Now, hang on, Ken. Don't do that. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, delete all the way. This is not being inappropriate, but I think it's a great discussion.
If you say dick or ass, it's going to say no.
It's It's the best question. I think we all deserve an answer to this.
Okay.
We all know the answer, but we deserve to hear somebody say it.
Oh my God.
And that's, did Bill Clinton have sexual relations with that woman?
With that woman. Now, yeah, you got it right, with that woman.
Yes.
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, she said, we didn't say Monica. They said
Mm-hmm.
God, man, look at it go.
Holy shit! It's shit.
The next one should be, did Donald Trump really grab her by the pussy?
Oh, you can't say that word. It's gonna tell me no.
No, of course I know for a fact that it will.
Yeah.
But this is as entertaining to me as like trying to ask Siri knock jokes. Sometimes she gives you some really, really good ones. But ooh, that's a good question.
That was good.
What are your thoughts?
The existence of aliens. What was the question there?
Yeah. Here it is. Are aliens
Oh
real?
yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh yeah.
100%. I mean, that's just a definition of like, hey, what's an alien? An alien is some sort of life outside of Earth. You know, I went to
the pyramids.
Yeah, I went to Los Angeles. What was it? Like a 2 months ago for the first time in my life, and on the last day, I went up to the Griffith Observatory.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Have you guys been to LA?
No.
I was on the outskirts of LA. I will not go into that shithole.
It is pretty nice, the Griffith Observatory there. But I went to LA. So, anyways, it's up on the top. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie Rebel Without a Cause and it has that movie with was it James Dean, the young actor that passed away he's like 24, 25.
Mm-hmm.
Car accident in the 50s. But anyways, part of the movie shot up there. But I'll get to the point. The Griffith Observatory is a big observatory on top of the Los Angeles, perfect spot. You can see all the stars. It's beautiful. It's great. It's wonderful. Inside, they have a planetarium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inside the planetarium, they go over this whole thing about the universe, how it was made, and the black holes, and the ever expanding of the universe, and how there's different probably time and matter and dark matter. And man, when you go through all that, there is no way that we are the only ones. Absolutely not. So, you know, there could be something there. There could be something like us. There could be something totally different.
Have you heard the theory?
Cross paths.
Have you heard the theory about the different dimensions? Right. So there's an idea that all aliens live in the fourth dimension, and is like why they have alien spaceships like more or less like we can't fucking touch.
Dude, now you're getting into string theory, and that's Jesus.
Dude, the theory is, ask it like to shortly summarize string theory, because I've heard so much about this recently, and like the one dude who I saw who
he got mad. He got really mad. Here we go.
Top 10. The one dude.
I've been doing this in 3.5. Oh Jesus!
Boom! Give it the juice, man. So from what I heard and what I saw was like the one dude was like, "Hey, the second dimension is like a flat piece of paper, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that flat piece of paper is a whole moment in time in the second dimension. But then in the third dimension where we live, right, when you flip all those pieces of paper together, it can make like almost like a story or show you like a consecutive amount of time."
Yeah.
Now he's like, now imagine in the fourth dimension, the whole book is an object, is time.
That's what you're doing right now. You're explaining. It's explaining what you're saying in smart terms.
And I'm like, holy fuck.
I know too much about. Like I had to take quantum mechanics. Like I elected to take that class my senior year of college, and quite literally every time I went in that class, my mind was blown. And it's funny because I would like to explain to you how some of it kind of works, but I don't have the common language to explain to you how it works. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like me speaking Chinese to you, and you're like, "What the fuck is P?"
But now, do you think that there's any relevance to the idea that I just said, which was like aliens live or may be in the fourth dimension, which is why we can't fucking
see them?
What? Not even not
Yes.
see them. Like I'm talking about more or less like the UFOs. Like we see them and they move so quickly and like we can't understand it whatsoever. And I think that is like the whatchamacallit, like they are communicating through gravity because gravity is the only constant amongst all dimensions.
You're gonna make me sit down and watch Interstellar again, and on
Yeah,
mushrooms. That's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna take a bunch of mushrooms and watch Interstellar. Is what I'm gonna fucking do.
yeah.
But like, let me explain this to you the way. Like, here's a good prime example, right?
Like,
Okay,
dude,
so
that's
time,
fine.
so time moves. 24-hour cycle for us on Earth, and then a trip around the sun is 365 days, right? So you go out to fucking Saturn. No, Jupiter. Jupiter's like every what every 20 every 9 no it's not Mercury okay, yes, Saturn
Yeah.
every 9 years on Saturn is 24 hours. Oh no, sorry, no, and 9 years here is
It's
one
24
day
hours there.
is 1 day on Saturn. It's 24
Yeah.
hours there. Do you age slower or faster? And tell me why.
You age slower by our definition, but the gravity in space has a different effect on the human body. So technically, you're aging slower out there.
Because your telomeres, when you go that far away, the telomeres in your genetic sequence, they get shorter. It's crazy.
So the farther
Yeah.
you go, if you go far enough away,
If you go far enough, fast
you
enough,
reverse your age.
if you could go in one moment and be on Saturn, your telomeres would shorten and you would spend, 9 Earth years.
So that means if in the drop of a hat I went to Saturn from right
Mhm.
here on my couch, would I be, what is that, 19 years old?
You'd be 9 years older than what you are.
I thought it'd be younger.
In Earth years, you would be that old, but in Saturn, you would only be
Yeah,
a day old.
You would be today plus 1 day.
yes, but because I would go so quickly
Mhm.
to a place where it's 9 years for every 1 day, right?
Yeah.
9 years here for every 1 day there. I would technically go back in time.
You know why that is? I'm going to explain it to you. So gravity has an effect on the human body, right? You know that for a fact. So it essentially helps you rewrite your genetic code when you get far enough away from Earth.
Mhm.
Like your genetic code, the way that chemicals change inside of your body changes. So that's why it proves that if you go into a black hole with the amount of gravity that's there, it rips you into tiny pieces. That's why it's impossible for us to go from one place to the next, like Saturn, like that fast. You cannot. It's like you would be ripped into pieces. We don't have a material that can withstand that many G's. That's like an unlimited amount of G's we can't even fathom.
So you tell me all those like old Transformer cartoons where they travel through space and time was fucking
Bullshit.
bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Hot Tub
It's all
Time
bullshit.
Machine was bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
Fuck.
It's all bullshit.
Fuck.
And we exist, so like string theory, you exist on like up to 26 different dimensions. I think it's 26. Let me go back and check. I think I'm right if I remember
Yeah,
from
you could
quantum.
probably have 26, just like
Yeah.
fucking.
Let me make sure. Yeah, 10 to 26. Yeah, I was right. Okay, I remembered something from fucking a decade ago. Cool. So 26 dimensions, right? Present as 26 layers of paper. So
Mhm.
you're there, right? You exist on the third dimension down, and every dimension you can prove it with calculus. If you take the derivative of that dimension, you get to a certain velocity. You take that other dimension, take the derivative of that, you get to a certain point in time. So at that point, you cannot exist. But if you keep doing differential equations, or sorry, if you do the differential equation to go backwards, you end up at non-existent. But if you go forward and use calculus, we can't even explain what those dimensional effects have on your on your
So
existence.
the one source of like movies that technically has gotten some of this right and has done like tried to do it in a fun and quirky manner is Marvel.
What?
Just Marvel, like how they talked about like there's you have to. So in
We're boring,
the
Victor. We're fucking up.
no, so in like the Avengers movies and shit,
Yeah.
right, where they have to travel to like quantum realms, they have to go to different realms to like time
Oh,
travel.
Quantum Mania.
They're saying that you can't stay in this dimension to
Mm-hmm.
time travel.
Yeah, you
But
can.
if we pull you out of this dimension, move you quickly enough through this way, We can plug you in over here and you'll be there.
That's what I just said.
Exactly. But now they've done it. But like if a kid watches that, they're like, ooh, that seems interesting. But little do they know there's like realistic kind of facts. But then there was the movie prior to that where everyone's like, oh, why don't you just go back in time and just, fucking kill the bad guy when he's a baby? And it's like time doesn't work that way. Because when you go back to the past is now the present, and your present that you're in while we're talking about this is now the past.
Yeah, if you go back in time and you're like,
You're
I'm gonna use a
not
time machine, the
You're
time
literally-
machine won't exist in the past. So you
exactly.
can't get back. It's not possible. Yeah.
Austin Powers, Back to the Future.
I'm gonna get high and think about this. Fuck.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Anyways, dude, we're killing
All
Victor.
bullshit.
We're killing him. We found Chat GPT. Victor's here. He has a CBD company. We ended up on another level inadvertently.
I've used it just a little bit. It's just it you can go down a rabbit hole.
Well, I can see he may seem a little tired, but I think he's now going to utilize ChatGPT. And I'm not.
It's a little late on my end. Where are you guys based from, anyways, right
now?
It's
like what are you, wait? You're in San Antonio. You're in Texas.
Yeah.
So you're in Central Time.
I'm in Colorado, a mountain, so I'm 8:45 right now.
You're actually a little bit behind. Yeah, no, it's like what I usually do is I wake up pretty early, like usually around like 5:30ish, 6.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah,
yeah. And usually I do like every morning I either do like core workout or I do like yoga. I used to do hot yoga down the road. So it's like there's like a Lifetime gym right down here. So it's like 8-9 minutes down the road. And I do like hot yoga there in the morning. Like fucking an hour and a half. And it's just pretty intense at like 5:30 in the morning. But it's good.
I did hot yoga for a while and then the place moved. COVID shut it down basically. And then I didn't go anymore. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's just so hot. I sweat like a stuck pig bleeds.
You know, man, at the end of it, you feel like reborn. It's good.
Yeah. And you're like, you got less farts.
Yeah.
Good Jesus.
People are lighting that room up, dude. People are lighting that room up. It's crazy.
Apparently,
so you must be pretty flexible, Victor. I can't like some of those things. Like,
definitely try it too. But it's good. Like I balance. I'm like, okay, do I do core in the morning, or I do yoga in the morning, or I do rowing in the morning? Like so, like right outside my ear, I got like a rowing machine, the Concept 2 rower, which is real nice. 3,000 meters in 30 minutes. I try to row in the morning, so it's either that, yoga, or core workout. And before I go to sleep, I try to think of like what's it gonna be, and I'm gonna wake up at 5:30. Yeah, no, you got it, because like I have an alarm like on my phone, and I have like this like natural light too that like lights up my room, so it acts like the sun, so I can actually wake up. But I found it, man. If you think about the time you want to wake up and what you're gonna do, really nothing's gonna stop you. Like I thought the other night, I'm gonna wake up at 6. I'm gonna wake up at 6. I'm gonna wake up at 6, even with my alarms. And I woke up at 6. Very interesting.
You kind of push it in your mind, like had a circadian rhythm, kind of mentally, like I'm here, I'm doing this.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned it before, but the CBD helps as well. Sometimes when I'm feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit stressed, I take it before when I go to sleep. But honestly, it helps me at the moment. At the moment when you're going through something, when you're dealing with it, taking the gummies, you're taking the oil itself is good. All the other stuff, whether it's the yoga, whether it's the rowing, I wouldn't say core workout, but when you're lifting a lot, the salve helps out a lot. It really does.
I haven't tried it before workout or when in the moment when I'm stressed. I need to try that. I really do. If you want to work out, that's going to make you hate yourself and hate why you're doing it. You set, okay, you're going to row 2K, right? But every minute on the minute starting at 0, you do 12 burpees over the rower. Yep.
12 burpees.
I almost passed out working out today.
I would fall and smash my face on the rail. 12 over the rail. No, that's a lot.
Just lateral burpees. I mean lateral. Then you're gonna just lateral. Not even rower facing burpees. Just laterally. You're starting at 0. You only get the time you have left in that minute. It's gonna make you sprint the burpees. You're like, I need to get finished this 2K. I'm fucking done. And your good 2K time is like sub 8 minutes. So you're gonna be working out for 12 minutes if you're lucky. If you're lucky. So what did you do this morning, Steve? You said you almost died.
You worked out today, Ken?
Oh no, I didn't do anything today. It's Thursday.
I'm starting to get into the point where now being a dad and like the time where you have to choose your child and your family over working out, which I obviously was not used to for the past like 10 years of my life. That I'm more or less okay with doing like the school work or like the chores or whatever, make sure shit's good. But every once in a while, I like to go downstairs and just murder myself.
Yeah.
Right. So I did a 30-minute EMOM.
What is it?
EMOM, so every minute on the minute. And do it 30 minutes. And I came up with 4 different movements. And I realized that doesn't equate.
It doesn't equal 30.
Yeah, I got that.
You went to 32 or 28?
No, I did 30 flat, but I just did 2 movements, 1 extra. So I did 10 strict pull-ups. What is it? 20 elevated push-ups, like with the 45-pound plates. And then I did 10 front squats at 135 and 12 calories on the Echo bike.
Oh, fuck.
In that order. So I went pull, push, squat.
Squat again, basically lunge.
Right. And I want to say by the 3rd or 4th full round, like full set, dude, I wanted to change the numbers.
You're like, I'm only halfway through.
My arms are starting to give out. I was getting to like the 45-second mark and being like, I have 2 reps of anything left. Except the squats went well. The light got to the point where like my arms were so just inflamed from like a huge pump. I couldn't push the fucking arms of the bike, so I had my forearms on them.
You said the bike, I was like, that's it.
Yeah, I would tell you, buying an Echo bike was the greatest $650 I've ever spent.
Yeah.
And shoving that shit in my car, squeezing it in my Grand Cherokee was the greatest fucking thing I've ever done.
Dude, I did a workout the other day. I did one of the quarterfinals workouts for the age group, and it was 27, 21, 15, 9 row cows and thrusters. I did that shit for a buddy. Holy fuck. So I could test it. It took me like 9.5 minutes, right around there. And I thought I was gonna shit myself. Like I got to the end of the 21 thrusters. I got back on the rower and I was like, oh fuck.
I definitely didn't drink enough water today, which is probably why I felt like such shit. But I got upstairs and I was eating my dinner, and Jess goes, "You don't look good." She's like, "You look red to the point where I'm concerned."
You need some CBD. You need some CBD to help.
Man. I would tell Victor the scale he just gave of 27, 21, 15, 9. If you ever want to work out to just absolutely make you want to just off yourself before you go to work, well, you'll feel so much better when you're done. Pair rowing calories, so 27, 21, 15, 9 row calories, and then one other movement.
Yeah, just that and
kettlebell swings, air squats, push-ups, handstand push-ups, whatever. Well, don't put handstand push-ups in that. That would just fucking hurt you.
Dude, like, yeah, do that. And then if you ever do that rep scheme, like 27, 21, 15, 9, put a time cap of like 15 to 16 minutes on it and make yourself push. And you like
devour CBD when you're done to recover.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ.
Just gonna rub all that salve on me so I don't
just bathe in it.
Be like the greased up deaf guy from Family Guy.
Just like, oh no. Yeah.
Like, Victor, why are you so shiny? He walks in off and you're like, I don't want to talk about it. And you just sit down.
Oh my God.
No. Where are you at?
What? Oh, I'm in Dallas. I'm in Dallas, Texas, but right now, like this apartment's in Frisco. I lived in Jersey for about 23 years.
Lived in Jersey.
Jersey, yeah, New Jersey. So I go back and forth. My family's still out there, so I fly back and forth, and we have the other
He
off.
reminds me a little bit of Christopher from The Sopranos.
Oh, Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher.
Do I got a big canopy nose like that guy, man?
No.
Yeah.
No. I know.
You're not writing a script, are you?
No, man.
Christopher
Jesus.
is talented. Yeah, that's a good show, man. Now, if you really think about it, that was a real good show.
I just didn't like the way it ended.
Who knows?
Fuck those
The
people.
Italian ending, man. It's just blackout. I'm like, give me some closure,
Or
motherfucker.
he died.
I mean, give me some more closure.
The writer of the show said he died.
What did you want to know? I mean, like, you know he died, and if you see Tony Soprano like shot, I mean, it'll
It's
kind of
ruined the entirety of the show.
yeah. So now you're imagining. He got you still thinking about it. Look, we're so many years away from the finale, and we mentioned it again in the podcast.
Let's just acknowledge the fact that they had a guy named Uncle Pussy on TV for fucking like 10 years. Like,
Vincent had a story.
that.
Pussy. Oh my.
And not only that, but there's two of them.
There
There's
was
Big Pussy and Little Pussy.
Oh yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The names are just ridiculous.
There's fucking Jimmy Bags.
Yeah.
And there's a fucking Paul
then-
with the
Then
fucking
Johnny Sack. Johnny Sacks.
Man.
Nothing's better to me. I felt bad because I believe it's the actor who plays Paulie died recently.
Yeah, Tony Sirico.
Yes, those little fucking like white fades into his hair.
Yeah, those wings.
I want that shit when I'm older, bro.
The thing about Tony, when he would do those wings, from what I understand, is that like he did it himself, and he did his hair himself. That was his. That was him doing the whole thing.
I can imagine it.
Never let someone touch it. He was so big onto the hair and the point.
Did you ever see the Many Saints of Newark?
I haven't seen it. No, that I haven't seen. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, man. I think sometimes you just gotta let stuff rest where they are, but I have not seen it. Have you?
Yeah, because what was
Yeah,
it?
you like it.
Gandolfini's son
Yeah.
plays him as like
Like-
a teenager. He looks just like him. Hopefully, he doesn't die like that. But
How he prepared for that role because he never watched The Sopranos growing up,
interesting.
and he, as preparing for little Tony, he watched the whole series in preparation for that film. So I can only imagine what he was seeing, like was seeing his dad and everything like that sort of like
Yeah, just a whole bunch of hookers with titties out and shit, and be
all
like, God,
that stuff, killing people, all this stuff.
my dad's a fucking ball.
Yeah, James Gandolfini, the actual, the actor of him from Jersey too, very natural Jersey. They actually renamed one of the rest stops after him. But anyways, so Jim, like he was never like that in real life, like a psychopath, asshole. Like no, like he was a very approachable, normal, humble dude. And so I can only imagine what Michael, his son, thought when he was watching that. He's like, yeah, that's not my dad. That's Tony Soprano. So
That's an asshole.
Could you imagine getting pigeonholed into one character your entire career practically?
he was
But so fucking successful.
yeah.
Like he may have pigeonholed himself, but everybody else is like, dude, I can't cast you. You want to be in a fucking rom-com?
He played what was it, like after The Sopranos, he played like, I remember, like the Mexican with Brad Pitt. He did something with Killing Them Softly with Brad Pitt as well later on.
Yeah.
What was it, The Drop with Tom Hardy? That was another good one. And I think when just before he died, he just finished something with Louis C. Dreyfus, as well as some like romantic comedy type thing. So I mean, he was getting there. But when they would ask him in interviews, they're like, "Hey, like what do they say to you when they see you on the street? They say, hey, Mr. Gandolfini, hey Jim." It's like, no, hey Tony, hey Soprano, hey Tony. That's what they say. And he said it in a way like, like what am I gonna do? Fuck no.
It's like Chadwick Boseman getting the fucking Wakanda Forever shit.
Yeah, what's up, Black
Except for,
Panther?
except for him, like he was already in so many other great movies before that
Yeah.
he had kind of like the premiere of himself to kind of be like,
It's so
hey,
black you can't tell what it is.
no,
Yeah.
I knew he was. That's why I said Charlie Gordon. That was reminding me of it. But also, like, there was times on like public transportation, he was like, "All right, enough. Like, I'm not gonna fucking respond to you every time you say it." But
Yeah.
now, James Gandolfini, if you fucking walk by him, you're like, "Mr. Soprano, nice to meet you." He's gonna shake your hand. Again.
It's like a sign. That's like a sign of respect, though, because he was.
Fuck, dude, because he was fucking making bank, and he didn't even have to fucking act anymore if he didn't want to.
Dude, $100,000 an episode. Think about that.
Not to mention the money he'd still be making now just from HBO Max.
Oh
Dude.
no, yeah, the residuals he would have been getting.
Those royalties,
All the
bro.
royalties, yeah.
The residuals that his family's getting right now is probably more than enough too.
His son is probably just fucking beating his meat to some of that fucking cash.
Just like I'm gonna take $100 at $1,000 a day and just rail it, just get
Bro,
it grounded down into powder and put it in
very,
CBD.
very successful guy.
Jesus.
But yeah, I think he went to Rutgers in New Brunswick, and then he was I think he worked at like a club or something like that, or he owned a bar out in New York. And then he went to like an acting class like years later into it. He said, I'll give this a shot. I don't know. He hated it apparently. He didn't like it. And then he just stuck with it a little bit later and just worked at it. So, you never know. Give something a
And then
shot.
somebody walked into Italian City, fucking New Jersey, and was like, "Oh, who can we find to fucking play a whole bunch of mobsters?"
Do you know they were thinking Ray Liotta as Tony?
Oh,
Yeah, I could see that
that
too.
would have been pretty fucking
They were
good though.
they were thinking so many other people, not James Gandolfini as one of them, but he did it. He auditioned for it, and then he got the part. I mean, he got the part, and he ended up going back to where's this bar in New York where they all hang out. I think it's called Mary Lou's, and he went there, and all the Italian actors there, and everyone else was there, and he showed up, and he never said anything when he got the part. He never said anything. He just showed up and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's before the first episode was shot or whatever. And so until they went to like the table read, James was there and Tony Sirico and all these other people. And they're like, well, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I got a part. And they're like, yeah, who is it? And they're like, Tony. And they're like, Tony?
The fuck?
And
So,
this was
you're fat ass around here. The thing that killed me about that entire show was how many of the mobsters were just like these morbidly obese fucking
they
people.
just got from season 1 to season.
They got fatter as the series went on. I was like, damn.
Unfortunately,
Wait.
Tony Soprano was unrecognizable from episode 1. Man, episode 1, he was on the heavier side, but he was so skinny compared to the last episode.
Bro, so fucking. You just look at those dudes like you expect me to believe that you're fucking kicking someone's knee in, and bro, you can't get your foot up on a chair.
It's like watching Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club go from what he was to like basically like he looked like a quote unquote Holocaust victim. It was so bad.
Bro, he
so
had
bad. Yeah, I know, but like the stress that his body had to go through to like become he basically starved himself for 6 months, 7 months to get the role.
There is an interview where he talks about that diet.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it was like he did that interview right before he put out Green Lights.
I read that book. That's real good.
Yeah, it's a really good book. I tell everybody reading it like Matthew McConaughey could be serious. I'm like, yeah, man, it's pretty good.
All right.
All right. I'm driving a Lincoln. But yeah, let's let Victor go. I need to go too. I don't know. That was fun. We need to do this. We need to do this again, dude. Have you back on whenever you feel like it. Pretty much.
When Alex is out of the military completely, which I don't know when it's gonna happen. Probably maybe within the year, maybe next year. We'll see. Then he can definitely join and talk about the company even more.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Let everybody know where they can find you, Vic.
Yeah, organicgrit.com. Nice and simple. Organicgrit.com.
Okay. When we publish this episode, I'm gonna link it all down in the description. I'm gonna put it up tonight, and then I'm gonna send you the link to it. It's gonna be on Spotify, everywhere. Share it wherever you want to. You're gonna get a local recording of this too. Chop it up, do what you want. I'm gonna chop it up and make it a short on YouTube and all that stuff. But Dude, it's been awesome having you. Like, super great. I'm glad Steve was able to,
Finally,
knock the baby out with his hand.
double chin.
It's apparent. It's fucking funny. It's hilarious. Let me end this real quick.
All right.